All right, gang. Welcome aboard once again. It's time for the Mac-Foeum weekly video chat. This week it is the November 20th edition. Wow, I can't believe we're this far into the year. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into things. First of all, I want to welcome our newest member, Carolyn Brazil, as you can see from the homepage there. This is I updated this just a few minutes before the show. So, welcome to Carolyn and all of our new members this week. Hopefully, you will enjoy your time in the forum. I want to be sure that I remind you that if you have been lurking around for a while and you need to ask a question, the best way to do that is to become a member. Doesn't cost you anything to become a member unless you want to become a premium member. So go ahead and check those things out. You can find all the information on the website. And let's dive, speaking of the site, let's dive right into things here. Um, this week, I want to start, first of all, with the forum roundup. I want to mention something. Ian, one of our forum members, pointed out something. He discovered something. I have not had an opportunity to test this because, to be honest with you, Time Machine has been working well for me and hasn't messed up in quite a while. But Ian discovered that there are times when Time Machine seems to forget how to back up automatically. It doesn't function properly. But then when you manually trigger a backup, it behaves fine. And so here's his suggestion for how to fix that issue. Open up Time Machine preferences, switch off Time Machine, and deselect any of the hard drives that you have selected to use for whole Time Machine backups. Okay. And what you're going to want to do then, reboot the Mac, open the Time Machine preferences, reselect the hard drives that you were using, and switch the Time Machine slider back to the on position. This seemed to have cured the problem for him, and hopefully you won't need to do that. But if you do find it useful, let us know in the thread. Um, as I mentioned last week, coming up probably next weekend, I'm going to do some things on steps to take when giving away some of your old Apple gear as you get new gear during the holiday. But coming up real soon, I'm probably going to do a show where we spend a good deal of time talking about Time Machine because there are a number of things that you can do with Time Machine. I want to go into some things, some troubleshooting tips that you can use with Time Machine, and just kind of give you a good overview because it seems to me that there's a lot of misconceptions about Time Machine and how it operates, how it works. Speaking of misconceptions, as you can see from this thread that I've just pulled up on the screen, we had a member this week who posted a question. Um, he's been a member since October, but he posted a question about um, making the switch from PC to Mac after his Windows box basically gave up the ghost, so to speak. And I linked to this thread because I suspect that there are many of you that are in the same situation that this particular member was in. He had been told a number of things uh, about Apple, switching from the PC to the Mac, and wanted to know if they were correct. Well, needless to say, a lot of what he was told was not entirely accurate. First of all, the person giving the advice had not worked with Macs since about 1991. So obviously, they had no idea of the many of changes that have occurred. That was what, 20 odd years ago. Um, some of the advice that he was given, some of the things he was told were true in 1991. They are no longer true as you move forward with the modern platforms. One of them, for example, I'll just kind of quickly deal with this. If you want to deal with, you want to see some of the answers in the thread, I encourage you to check that out. But a couple of things: moving documents and email across. He had been told that it would be cumbersome, if not next to impossible. It's not impossible to move data from a PC to a Mac. Most PC applications have a Mac equivalent or another program that will read similar files. Some people do find that they need to keep Windows around for a little bit or for a handful of certain types of files, but that you really have to look at on a case by case basis. I, for example, have Windows available just because a website that I use for work will periodically not behave itself with um, the Mac sometimes when they do an update, when they do a site update. And the site does behave a little bit differently under the Mac than it does under Windows. So I keep Windows around kind of as an emergency, but that's a rare situation. They were also told the existing hard drive could not be used with a Mac. That's not entirely true. PC hard drives are formatted as NTFS. The Mac could read those drives if they were put in a drive carrier and read the data off and copy that data. The problem comes when you need to uh, write to those drives. You can do that with some simple third party software, and it's cheap third party software. All of that is covered in the thread. That just gives you an example of some of the misinformation. And one thing, it was purely opinion, where he says, you will regret it. They are completely alien, and it's a completely different shift to Windows. Yes, it is different. That does not necessarily mean that A, it can't be done, and that B, the user in question won't like it. That's this forum has an entire area devoted to switchers with people coming with questions, and they have some interesting perspectives on